right, welcome back, everybody. We're at SPX 2022. I'm Rusty.
I'm Joe.
And with us we have...
my name is Neil Brideau.
Neil, welcome.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
Very
Neil,
happy to have you.
what are you up to nowadays?
Yeah, what's going on, Neil?
So I live in Miami, Florida.
It's a good start.
And I run Radiator Comics, which is primarily a distributor of self-published and small press comic books. And then we also do a little bit of publishing as well.
Very good.
When did you recently move to Miami?
About 5 years ago. I lived in Chicago before then.
Did they greet you with "Welcome to Miami"?
No, they do not play that in the airport. There is a section of the airport between where you get from like the metro rail and you like go through the car rental place. Once you get to the actual airport, there's like the first part of the airport that you walk into has like bird sounds and like weird lighting like changes. It's really fun. But no Welcome to Miami is played.
After the show yesterday, we were taking a break in the hotel room, and I was looking for something to watch on TV, and I came across a show about people smuggling stuff. It's like it was To Catch a Smuggler.
Oh.
So have you had any issues traveling into and out of Miami where you've been caught smuggling things?
No one has ever caught any of the things that I have smuggled.
Oh, that's such a good... I'm so glad to hear it.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, I'm sure it's a matter of time, but...
Well, yeah, especially now.
Smuggling catches up to all of us.
You know, you've already raised the hairs on their necks
now. That I'm talking about it on YouTube.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Well, you know, so far...
Make sure that it says hashtag smuggling.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually just sending this. It's a live stream.
Oh, good. Okay.
They're going to be here anytime, though.
Nice.
Going straight to the Border Patrol.
BP, yeah, we're going for there. So, did you continue to make comics during this time away from shows?
I did. Did I? For a while, I did not.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard.
And then I think I got back into it. So actually, one of the things was like during the pandemic, actually right before the pandemic, I received a grant from the Knight Foundation in Miami to create like an actual like physical studio space in Miami for cartoonists to like come and like work on their stuff like during open studio hours and stuff like that. And I actually, the day before the city shut down, like I was handed keys to like a facility, to a space, and then that wasn't going to happen. So I actually moved it online and started a thing called Open Studio, which takes place every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time, and anybody who's like making comics can come, and we do these like 20-minute quiet work sessions, and then like a 10-minute social sort of conversation where you can you can get up and like get something to drink or like use the restroom. But usually what ends up happening is we just like chat, and then like we do another 20-minute quiet work session, another 10-minute conversation, and a community grew out of that, and it was really great. One day somebody was like, we needed a Discord, and so we started a Discord, and so now we have this community that we named the Heatsink Comics Collective, and people can go to heatsink.card.co. It's heatsink.carrd.co and sign up for that. And anybody who's like making comics, whatever your experience level is welcome. It's a really like supportive group of folks who are really just like encouraging each other, and that's really exciting. And this started over the pandemic, and so here at SPX there are like 7 or 8 of us who are like regulars in this community, and it's been so exciting to actually like meet each other in person.
Yeah, to finally have that group together.
Yeah, and some of us are exhibitors, and some people are attendees, and some people are volunteering at the show, and it's just like really great to have like SPX be a space where we can like come together and like actually see each other in person for the first time.
It's kind of cool that you kind of made up a whole new community, and like then you got to see them for the first time, in addition to the people that you would normally see and hadn't seen in a while.
Yes, yeah, making new friends. I mean, and that's like definitely an exciting thing. Is like I love making like friends at SPX, and like some of my closest friends like are folks that I first met here.
Do you think you got more out of helping facilitate others to do things, or basically making this yourself, like the construction of it, how it helped you make this thing, and then also you see all these other people making things?
I mean, making the opening up a Zoom room is not a lot of work. So
Right.
like I did not do much to like create the community that exists now. It was everybody who comes into the community like brings their own like experience and wisdom and I think most importantly enthusiasm for each other to succeed. And so like I definitely think that like, you know, as much as I'm like super proud to have like been the person to be like, hey everybody, why don't you come to this Zoom room? It's like everybody who comes to that Zoom room are the people that make it. So
Yeah.
So like technology-wise, it's been interesting, like the ways that you have found to like connect people. Because even with SPX, with our digital years for the last few years, like you guys have helped put together the post Ignats?
Yeah, after the first
the
Ignats.
online party?
Yeah.
I just love, you know, like, I had the goofy idea of creating a Gather room. Gather is a program, like a virtual space online where you can have a little avatar, and I created I recreated like this hallway and the lobby and the patio.
There was like
Gather.
the 16-bit digital version.
You know,
of
it had the
SPX party
pattern
area.
of the carpet. It was laid out, and the way the hotel's been remodeled, but the old way the hotel looked. And there was also the proximity voice, where so if you moved closer to someone,
Yes.
then you could start talking to them, and you didn't hear them otherwise.
If anybody still has the link in their email, that room is still open. Like you can go there
Oh my God.
anytime.
If we can find that, we'll put that in.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Everybody come hang out. It'll be good.
Well, I mean, there won't be anybody there, but
no, but you know, you can see it.
what inspired you to do that? Just as like a way to harken back to.
It was like, so that was September 2020.
Yeah.
And like everybody else, like when it was supposed to be SPX was coming up, and I was just like heartbroken that like, you know, like SPX is a show that I like have to come to because I love so many people here, and like there's so much, at least for me, like so much emotion wrapped up in this weekend, and I was like, surely like something has to happen. So like, and then you know I had the bad idea of like, why don't I create these rooms?
The best bad idea. That's great.
And so yeah, it's just, you know, I
So
forget
you
the
said
question.
rad idea, right?
I said very bad idea.
Yes.
A silly idea that like just sucked up way too much of my time. But it was really fun to like.
Yeah.
see
Well, it was funny
people-
because you were like, I forgot the question. I was like, there wasn't really a question. It was just like, remember that? That was cool. That was.
Well, I mean,
It was amazing.
The thing about something like that is there's the actual experience of it, which can be mixed. Something got something out of it or not. But there's the act of having it created that you're just like, oh, this is just so nice.
Yeah.
It's a digital version of the thought that counts almost. It's like
Sure.
It was like something people got to touch or look at or be a part of, or even just knowing it exists, and it's like, that was nice.
Nice.
It's like a little bit more that you could hold on to.
Yeah.
I see you brought some books with you. I didn't mean to cut
is
you
it
off.
okay if I?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I didn't
You
want
know
to
what? Let's
forget.
talk about comics.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
want to forget.
So, like I said, Radiator Comics is primarily a distributor. So people are like, hey, I made this comic. Do you want to sell it? And I say, yes, this is an amazing comic. Let me tell people about it.
That was a sample exchange with people.
Yes.
Ty-
Yeah,
ty-
yeah, yeah.
Typical meeting goes.
You're so
along
positive.
Those lines.
But I have also I've also done a little bit of publishing. So in March, we published Dias de Consuelo by Dave Ortega. It's a fantastic, originally self-published collection of comic books that Dave wrote about his grandmother and her family. She was born during the Mexican Revolution.
Wow.
For most of the time that he was making the book, she was still alive, and he was talking to her about her experiences,
Wow.
and then filling in gaps with what culturally would make sense. And it's a really amazing book. It's beautifully drawn, and it's very tender, and he incorporates the history of the war, which is very complicated, into like very digestible information. So it's educational, but also like really brings a lot of humanity to issues about like war and migration, which are like very like relevant.
Yeah,
in
they're
this
not
day and age.
old time topics,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Right. And there's a lot of, if I can get political, there's a lot of efforts to extract the humanity of, like, people's humanity when talking about migration.
Yes.
You know, It's a lot about like the economic value of people, or a sense of economic drain, and like not like the basic human rights that like people deserve.
It's so much easier to disassociate from the actual real people. If you think about people in terms of numbers or terms or demographics, but if you have to deal with the nitty gritty of an individual,
yes,
it's so much harder to write them off or to treat them as if they don't matter.
Absolutely. Yeah. We did a Kickstarter for this and got a lot of really great support from a lot of amazing people. So yeah, Dias de Consuelo is an amazing book that I'm so privileged to have been able to work with Dave on. And then we just started publishing a series called Videotron Comics and Stories by Sam Sharp and Peach S. Goodrich. Ad House Books published the first issue of this series, and we're taking over for issues 2 through 4, and we're offering like a subscription.
Nice.
They're like really amazing, high quality, like just short stories, often about like meaning and like how people interpret meaning in life. Really beautiful, and it just debuted here at SPX.
Yep. We were actually excited. That was on our list yesterday when I stopped by the table. It's like
great.
One of the must pickups that we had for
Thank
the
you
weekend.
so much. And then also very exciting news. We've been publishing Fizzle by Whit Taylor, which won an Ignatz Award in 2020 at the first virtual Ignatz Awards for Outstanding Series. It's an amazing piece of fiction by Whit about a 20-something who's moved to California and is sort of like listless in life, but then discovers a passion for popsicles, for making popsicles. And I'm super excited that we're in the process of getting issue 4 together, and that will debut at Mice later in October.
Nice.
And we offer subscriptions for both Fizzle and Videotron, and yeah.
So where can people, I mean, we normally say this at the end, but we have the books in front of us.
Yeah.
Where can people get these books?
They can get it at radiatorcomics.com.
Okay.
And then we also list, we have a page where we list all of the stores that order from us.
Nice.
So, people should absolutely support their local bookstores and make sure that those, places stay in business.
Definitely.
So, but radiatorcomics.com is an easy way of getting them in the mail. And
So what got you to move into that stage of doing like distribution for folks, to do other folks as a distro?
It came from conversations actually at SPX that kind of like oftentimes the thing that comes up in conversations of like what we like need is more people doing distribution. And I worked at Quimby's bookstore for several years in Chicago and helped organize the Chicago Alternative Comics Expo, also known as CAKE, and the Chicago Zine Fest. And so like I have I get a lot out of like helping make like sort of platforms for people to show off their work. And I learned so much from working at Quimby's and working under Liz Mason, who's the manager at Quimby's, who's like just like the soul of the store, and really love interacting with people who were consigning their work at the store, and thought that like I might have like the right balance of like passion and knowledge to maybe do it. And so I've been doing it for a little while, and it's just really great. Every time I send out comics to folks, I'm like super excited because I know that there are these like people in like a few days are going to get these amazing packages in the mail of like the stories that are being told in self-published comics are just really beautiful, and they're not, you can't, in a lot of instances, you can't find them from like the larger publishers.
No, it's not something you can like browse most shops to find.
Right.
And yeah, it's a way for these things, because it's like we had said when we used to do mini comics, and people would be like, oh, I think I picked up an issue of that or something, and we would say like, if you didn't get it from us, you didn't get it.
Right.
Because it is
We are the
else.
distro.
Yeah. So it's good to just have so many more options out there, and especially doing like mail order, doing online, where you can, you might live 2 hours from the nearest
Right.
comic store.
Yeah.
And so it's a great option to have for people.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I would like to say that if anybody like thinks that like they could also do this, like do a distro or like small press publishing of their friends' stuff or like people whose work they admire, I like 100% think they should do it. And like we need more people who are distributing comics, and we need more people publishing comics, and we need more people reviewing comics and like organizing festivals and all those sorts of things. Just like more people doing, like celebrating each other is like the way to go. And something that I found when I started Radiator Comics and doing distro stuff is I reached out to folks like John Porcellino, who runs Spit and a Half and does King Cat Comics, and JT Yost, who does Birdcage Bottom Books, and they were just like so generous with their like time and their knowledge. And so if folks are considering like starting a distro, that they should absolutely reach out to other people who are already doing distros, because like there's nobody who's like doing small press distros who's like, hey, back off, this is my turf.
That's what I was thinking. It's very much a level of trying to bring more people in instead of building a barrier to keep them away.
Yeah, thankfully there's not much like gatekeeping with small press stuff.
Right. Though I do think that like the fact that like, you know, it's absolutely changing, like you know, people of color and like queer people are like carving out space that has like been like dominated by white men, white cis straight men for so long. I think it's important that we have more people who are not white guys like doing that sort of work as well, because like as much as I want to be like, I'm not a gatekeeper, I'm like trying to like make things as democratic as possible. Like I absolutely have implicit biases that like I like work to like fight against and like recognize, and but like but there are things like I have a ton of shortcomings, you know, that
absolutely.
Like that I like all will not stop working to work against, but like
but yeah, any chance you can bring forward like other perspectives. Yeah,
that's the biggest way to mitigate your own shortcomings, is just to make sure everybody else has their own space too.
Yes.
Then your shortcomings, it's not that they don't matter, but they matter a lot less because somebody else has their own room. The way you were describing it, we've been coming to SPX for a very long time, and I know you have as well. When we were teenagers and we came to some of the early shows, it was mostly white guys, which is just what it was.
Yeah.
But over time, within a few years, there was a big growth in female creators. And we would see like the tired tropes of like people going to comic stores or other comic conventions, be like, oh, there's no girls. They're like, I don't know, man. Like,
what shows are you
is
going
like
to?
filled with women. And as that has broadened to include, you know, queer people or people of color, SPX tend to be, I want to say ahead of the curve, but like you don't really see the same dearth of voices at other places you do. You might see somewhere else that you don't see here, because it's a really nice mix of all these little subcultures and things that you don't really know about, but you see them proliferating around. I don't know, I just think that's really nice.
It's really good, yeah. It's such a wider spectrum of like experiences and people.
Right, it's some good first steps towards actual reality.
This is by no means the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's still really nice to see, and one of the ways I judge that is how much of this stuff am I personally interested in. And it's not that I don't want to be interested in things or automatically interested in things, but I love that there's so much that I don't really have a toehold on, you know, because it's not necessarily meant for me or targeted me, but I love that it's there because you get to see other people experiencing things I've experienced.
Yeah.
You know, getting to see something that just tickled me, they get to see something that tickled them. I don't know, I really like that.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. So we've asked you lots of great questions, obviously, if I just say so myself. Would you like to answer a mystery question?
I'm dying to answer a mystery question.
All right, first you got to bring out the little quarter truck.
Oh, nice.
It has surprise pullback action, and that we were surprised that it pulled back action.
Yeah, we didn't know until we tried to pull it back one day. Like Joe went to take it away, and it just went like,
no,
whoa,
no,
whoa.
I want to keep going. All right, so put the thing in here, and then I twist it like
there
this.
you go. All right. There you go.
And there goes
Oh,
the
he's doing his thing.
No, he's getting away.
Let's come back.
Oh, quarter truck.
All right, the most terrifying moment of these interviews. If you could pick any pocket in the world, which pocket would you pick?
So many choices.
I guess really the only answer is Hot Pockets.
Oh,
Oh,
whoa.
never saw that
The
coming.
only pocket with a jingle. That's right.
Do you have a preferred hot pocket you'd want to pick?
What's that?
Do you have a preferred hot pocket you'd want to pick?
No.
Yeah.
What's that?
So this is an adventure, no matter which hot pocket you pick.
Yes.
You're right. The universe would have to like select one.
Oh
for me.
man!
And-
Wow, what a cool adventure you're gonna go
But
on.
I like the idea that like in the idea of like picking a hot pocket, you're not like, oh, I get a hot pocket. I'm like, oh, here's just like a scoop of like melted
Yes.
cheese and tomato sauce.
Oh,
I'm
it's
like,
so hot! It's so hot, but it's worth it.
look at all this sausage in my hand.
There's just this partially defrosted shell of bread.
And then it means that at some point, somebody is gonna like put that hot pocket
Yeah.
in the microwave, and then
Yes.
they are gonna like bite
It's
into it, and it's just gonna be bread.
It's a
gonna
knot
be-
pocket. There's
Like,
nothing
like,
in
what
here.
the-
A knot pocket.
No, no.
Well, again, so everybody can find your work at radiatorcomics.com.
Yes.
And from there, they can go on many little adventures
Yeah.
and buying books and seeing things.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for spending time with
Thanks
us.
so much for
Yeah, this is
having me.
great.
It's
Have
real
a great rest of the show.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thanks.